Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the second preview of next week's Dev Camp for WordPress. Just a word of legal speak. This is not an official program from the WordPress Foundation or Automatic. This is my own WordPress Dev Camp. And so for the past 10 plus years, I have been teaching over 1,000 hours of live WordPress developer training. And so we are now proud, we as a community are proud to have it again as the WordPress Dev Camp here at WPStudio. Our chat room is at wpstudio.com/chat. You can jump there if any questions pop up during the course of this preview. So without further ado, for those of you who are unfamiliar, as I said, 10 years, I've been teaching WordPress training. I bring a very unique perspective to WordPress training because I believe not everybody learns the same, but I am a strong believer that people learn by not only example, but they learn by story. Many times, if we can take code concepts, no matter how advanced the code concept is, and apply it to a story, something that we can remember, the logic to code can become more ingrained in terms of who we are and how we develop and how we build websites. And so I've got a number of new stories to tell you about how code works. This also means I have not met very many other developers or trainers who view programming languages like a foreign language, where we can do a direct English translation of code. So therefore, when we start talking about code, I'm not going to give you just how you do what the code is and how a function and the parameter and all this stuff works. We're going to actually talk about it in English, real world terms, non-technical terms, so that we understand the knowledge and the whole story behind the code. This whole way of teaching is to get anybody who attends this Dev Camp training comfortable and familiar with advanced functionality. And we do it step by step. None of what we are going to do is cookie cut. It's not like a cooking show where I'm going to say, and then you copy and paste this piece of code and we put it in the oven and out pops this. No, we will actually code it, construct it, put it together, we will hit save, and we will go check and see if we broke the internet. Or if we actually got it right and the site is working. So that's what makes this type of training we do here at WPStudio a little bit different. So let's now talk about what is going to happen in each of the sessions next week. So in the next 10 minutes, we're going to walk through what each session is going to be. We're going to talk about when the sessions are going to occur. And then we're going to talk about what you may need to do to prepare for the Dev Camp next week. So the first thing is, the session one is always going to be about building a rock-solid WordPress installation. Many WordPress users start off with WordPress coming from one of those one-click install services. Now, those things have gotten so much better. Many times you may buy a hosting plan and they will automatically install WordPress for you. And so the concept of understanding what's happening in the wp-config file is and can be a foreign concept to many people who might consider themselves very familiar with WordPress or very comfortable with working with WordPress. But by understanding what's happening in the wp-config file and by understanding how WordPress is working with the server, we can begin to lock down our site and really build a solid solution for our site. And Sanford, your question there in the chat room, and for those of you just popping in late, go ahead and take one of the aisle seats. Everybody else will squish to the middle. You're asking, you notice that Liquid Web's initial memory limit is set to fairly low. Actually, most servers are set their memory limit very low, and that's where understanding how we can adjust that in the wp-config file in WordPress can actually make or break a site, either make it easier or something like this. So that's going to be session 1, all about this, and then preparing your site for success. That's kind of where we go here. One of the coolest parts of WordPress, and I've always loved, is how themes work. We'll be spending some time talking about template hierarchy, how WordPress goes through a logical step to figure out which piece of code is used to display which piece of content, depending on where somebody is visiting our website, whether they're on our home page, whether they're on our Contact Us page. How does that all work? And so we will see how modular WordPress themes are. We will also work within the Voce theme. This is a theme that's part of the WPStudio membership. It's a theme that I've been working with for many years, trying to flesh it out and build it into something that is usable. But we will be moving beyond just basic theme work. We will push outside of simply installing a theme and customizing a theme. What we are going to be working on really is, okay, you've got your theme. And so even if you choose not to use like the Voce theme and you want to use the Genesis theme or Divi theme or iThemes Builder theme, any of those things would be workable, because we are going to talk about, well, how can we create new page templates that don't exist in your theme? What is that? How do we go about working with template tags to customize how something would look? So session 2 is going to be a whole chunk of information. And yes, as you probably can already guess, this is going to be a fire hose of information, which is why we record the Dev Camp, and I make it available for replay for the members. So session 3 is the second part that I love about WordPress. The first one is I love how WordPress handles themes. The second one is I love how easy it is to, once you have the knowledge and the capability, hook into parts of WordPress to extend what WordPress can do. Whether that is simply grabbing a code snippet out of the many code snippets I'll be providing you in the manual that comes with this course, to building a plugin. So we're gonna create a few plugins during this course. Some of them will be very basic, but they will illustrate how hooks work, how those action hooks and filters can interact with WordPress. And then we'll be actually building another plugin in an entirely different session. But we will learn how to build the plugin, what entails building a plugin. And then finally, during this session, I'm going to present you with kind of my recommendation for must-install plugins for whatever situation you come across. And so that'll be a really good resource, and it's in a nicely formatted thing that can come out of the manual, and you can use it as a reference guide based on the type of site your client may want you to build. Session 4 is about securing WordPress. Not just, oh, let's install a plugin and use all their default settings. No, what we will be doing is, there's a number of code snippets that you can add to WordPress into your themes functions.php file or your own plugin that you create for your WordPress site that can help lock down and create better security practices for your site or your client's site. And then we will look at other ways of locking down and securing WordPress. In session 5, we are going to build a client management plugin. I'm not talking about building like a competitor to Manage WP or iThemes Sync or Infinite WP. No, we're going to be building a dashboard widget or a panel page that we can interact with directly. Maybe we can put up invoices that would enable us to talk back and forth between our clients at a basic level to assist in the communication. So you'll learn a little bit more about some very basic PHP calls, how you can request a file from another server and you can display the content. It'll be very simple, but yet we'll make sure it stays secure. And this should be a fun session. And if you haven't gotten the impression yet, and you are new to what I teach here at WPStudio, I really gear a lot of the training to those freelancers who are either managing multiple websites or they do a lot of client work. Yes, there are a few members who are just wanting to increase their WordPress skill and their capabilities, but a lot of times what we focus on is how you can take your skills that you're learning and either increase the value that you add to clients or how you can raise your rates to better pay for the skills that you have learned. Session 6 is going to be a lot of... I'm going to enjoy this one. Why? Because last Friday, in a soft launch, and I know there are some of you because you've emailed me and you didn't even know it yet, I released the beta version of SEO Studio. It is an SEO plugin that's been worked on for a while. I've taken little bits from other SEO concepts, other plugins, incorporated them, brought them into a uniform plugin that focuses on SEO without pushing away the UEO, the user experience optimization. Too often than not, many of the SEO plugins are quite bloated in terms of their size and their and what they try to push as make sure you get the green lights or the check marks or the percentages inside your code. That's not how we write SEO. We write SEO to speak to our users. We want our users to be the end goal, not the search engines, because the search engines never hire us, or at least I've never been hired by a search engine to build them a website. But yet customers and humans who find their way to my site have hired me before. I don't know about you. If you've had a search engine pay for something, well then by all means, use an SEO plugin that targets search engines. And we'll talk about the differences for that. So we'll spend a bit of time with what WordPress already provides, where you need to enhance WordPress's search engine optimization, and then where you can go about building up your SEO offerings for your clients as an ongoing revenue stream. Now, session 7, which is the final session, is really for those of you who are freelancers, who are working with clients, whether you are offloading work to virtual assistants, whether you are hiring and co-working with other freelancers. We'll be talking about tips and tricks, time management, tools and resources to use, how to continue to increase your skill level, and sure, let's just say this is Carrie working in a nice clean office. Although I'm not sure if Carrie still has a teddy bear on her desk. But we'll let her decide if the teddy bear is there. So that's what the 7 sessions are going to look like. It's taking place all next week, Monday through Friday. When is it taking place? We have really 2 time frames. On Monday and Wednesday, there will be 2 sessions. On Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, there's a single session. So on Monday, we start at noon Eastern Time, and we go for 90 minutes. Then we got a little break. You can go back and do some of your work for your clients or take rest or eat some food. And then we will come back at 4 p.m. and go for 2 hours. On Tuesday, noon to 3. It's a 3-hour session. Now, it's not going to be 3 hours straight. We will take breaks when we need to take breaks so we can stand up and stretch. Then Wednesday, we start again at noon for 90 minutes, and then at 4 p.m. for 2 hours. Then Thursday, noon for 3 hours, and Friday noon for 2 hours. In total, that's 15 hours of straight training. But it's not just the live training that there is the 15 hours next week. We will have this chat room. It's going to be buzzing. I have a custom chat room that is set up with all your downloads, resources, links, interactions, ways to ask questions, ways to, for me to present responses for you. There is a Dev Camp manual that's coming with this course that includes all the code snippets we're talking about, all of the instructions, all of the background information for certain WordPress functions. So if you want to reference back to what add action is or WP nav menu, you don't know what those are, you want a reminder, the manual will have all of that. And so we will also have a very unique way of everybody starting, because I will make a file available to everybody on Monday morning that you can install on your own local host machine. And this will put you at the same starting point that I will be at on my machine. This way, when we go through the Dev Camp, you will be able to open up the same file that I'm opening up, add the same code that I'm coding, so you have all the necessary plugins, tools, resources all loaded up onto that starter file. And it will give everybody the same kind of platform. You don't have to do that. You can just sit back and soak in all of the training. But if you would like to start with us, you will be able to, or with me, you will be able to follow along directly, because I will provide files of everything I'm doing. And then, as I said at the very beginning, it doesn't have to be a local host. You can take whatever I'm doing, put it up on a dev server or wherever you want to put it. You could put it on a subdirectory of your own website. Any of that will work. And I'll have I think I'll put together a little preview video, like a little 5 minutes, to show if anybody's never done that before, what you need to do. So nobody will be left out just because you've never restored a website or something. There'll be a little video that you can watch to do that. And again, as I said, all sessions are recorded and will be available in the training archive. The cool thing is, once we finish this course, there will be over 60, about 60 hours of training now in the training library. So it's actually becoming quite a robust training library already. So the big question, how do you get access to the WordPress Dev Camp? You have to be a member of WPStudio. We have a lot of information about the membership at WPStudio that you can take a look at. About the community, you can visit wpstudio.com/membership. And over there you can trying to paste the link for you guys. You can see a little bit about the community. We do about 2 to 3 webinars a week, or I try to. Sometimes they're more impromptu. It comes with a theme. It comes with a whole bunch of plugins, and you'll see all these plugins in action during the Dev Camp. Everything from Code Studio, the SEO Studio. Looks like I need to change that because that's now released. And then you have access to the Dev Camp. And this is the other one. And it's more of what you all have told me, that a number of you who have been members for a while have said one of the reasons why the membership is beneficial to you is that you have access to me. I'm in the chat room all the time. The chat room is sitting open when I'm working, coding, building, answering questions, preparing for webinars, building plugins. That is exactly where I am. And so you have access to me. You have access to the rest of the community, because the rest of the community at WPStudio is just like you. They're freelancers who are trying to make it, working with clients, trying to find clients, trying to improve your skills, trying to find ways that this code, this WordPress hobby, is becoming much more of a hobby and more of a obsession, I would say, and how we deal with that. And yes, as Carrie points out in the chat room, I have been doing these week-long intensive WordPress developer dev camp events for 9 years. I did 16 of them with iThemes. And this is the first one I've done with WPStudio. So I'm really excited about that. Now, again, I said the only way you can get access is a membership. I do offer 2 memberships, a quarterly membership and an annual membership. But the best part about this is there's a coupon for those of you who have been here at the preview. If you use the coupon DevCamp1, you will get 25% off the annual or the quarterly membership. And as I mentioned in prior webinars, I am making a change to my membership policy. And that is, these are not auto-renewables. I will tell you and alert you when your membership is coming up for renewal, offer you ways that you can continue your membership, but you as a freelancer should not have to worry about, money disappearing from your account because you forgot about something. So have no fear. I know it's been brought up and some people have been emailing me. Whether you choose the annual or the quarterly membership, you do not have to worry about money going out because you forgot about a membership. The membership includes all the training, all the past training, all the future training that while your membership is current. It includes the themes, the child themes, the plugins, and it includes access to our Slack channel. And it is one of the best ways, I think, to work on your plugins, themes, and your training. All about WordPress. So it starts next week, Monday at noon. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at benjamin@wpstudio.com. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me for this preview webinar. I hope you will see, I hope I will see you all on Monday, noon, ready for an exciting week of in-depth, intensive, fire hose-based training where we are going to give you the skills. And when I say we, I'm talking about the community because I can't stress this enough. During these Dev Camp week-long events, the chat room is fascinating. It's not just me teaching. It's people who have been using WordPress for 10 plus years also contributing their knowledge into the community. And so for those of you who are already members, I'm the first one to admit I couldn't do this without you because you are part of this community. And for those of you who are considering becoming part of the membership, I can guarantee you will not be disappointed with not only the training, but the availability of the community that we have. So finally, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, benjamin@wpstudio.com. You can also tweet me on Twitter @Benjamin Bradley. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for WP Studio. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of a Thursday. And I will get this uploaded to YouTube and available for replay. And I will post a link in the blog at WP Studio. You can check back for that later. Take care, everybody, and have a great Thursday. And enjoy the weekend.